Alkmaar in the Netherlands. It's a city a little bit north of Amsterdam, about 112,000 inhabitants. We have 3 screens, and last year we had about 140,000 visitors. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about a project we did last year about data collecting. Oh yeah. Project about data collecting. Let's see if it works. Oh yeah. Oh no. Oh no, go too far. Oh okay. Oh okay. Oh no, I'll go the wrong way. Sorry, I want to go to the first. Yeah. Okay. Data collection. Can you make it full screen? Okay. Let's try again. Yes. Okay. We want to know more about our customers, especially how old they are and where they live. Because one of our strategic goals are to reach a younger and a more diverse audience. So to see if we succeed, we needed more data. And also, we wanted to know more about the people that come to our cinema without using an account. So we only knew the email address, but we wanted to know more about them as well. So of all the ticket buyers, 60% uses an account to order a ticket, and 40% come in as a guest. And as you can see, we didn't know much about our account holders. Yeah, only 90% we knew the age, and about a third the postal code. So we want to enrich those profiles to just know more about them. So what we did is we sent a mailing to all the people with an incomplete account. So it was about 5,000 people. And the incentive was, if you complete your profile, you get a +1 free ticket to be used within 6 months. And I was surprised, 50% replied. So they completed their profile, and we know much more about them. So 2,300 people received a +1 ticket, but then only 738 actually used it. So it didn't cost us hardly anything, because they used their code during the summer, the quiet summer period. So we collected a lot more data. We only had to send out 738 free tickets. So we were happy. But that was the existing account profiles, and we also wanted to get more data of our new account holders. So we changed the account registration form and made more fields obligatory, so you have to fill in the fields. Did a little research. I looked at commercial cinemas and other art house cinemas to see what kind of data they are collecting. And of course the commercial ones collect a lot more data than the art house cinemas. But we thought it would be okay to ask a little bit more data from our visitors. So what we did, I hope you can see the difference, but we added the option X with gender. We made the postal code field obligatory, so everybody has to fill it in. Also the birth date. We added an option to get a newsletter. And we put a little explanation that the data was not used commercially, but just for statistical purposes, which is true. We just want to know who is visiting our cinema. And for the guest accounts, so the people that don't want to start an account, we still ask the postal code, because we're losing so much information. If 40% doesn't have an account and still comes regularly. So the results after 6 months, we went up from 36% postal codes to 73, 19 birth dates up to 63%, and 56% overall. So there's a huge increase in data. And then the next step that is really up for discussion in our cinema is if we want for the guest accounts not only the postal code but also the birth date. And some people in our cinema say, yeah, well, you're asking too much. People open a guest account, you know, for a reason. They don't want to give their data, which is true. But on the other hand, you know, if you buy something from Zara or H&M, you have to put your birth date everywhere. And we thought, well, so I think we're just going to try it. And if there are many complaints, then we turn it back. So that's basically it. We're happy with the results. We have a lot more data, and with the new extra fields, we're just building more data with the new accounts being opened. So that's it. Okay. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Does anybody have a question for Anette?
So why did you initially start with accounts? So what's the how do people use their accounts?
Well, when you buy a ticket, you can either create an account, and then the next time you come, you don't have to put your password, and you can also go back to an overview of all the films that you visited. So, like 60% of the people have an account just because it's easier, and that you can also, like if you get that's complicated. So 60% have an account because it's just easy when you come back. You don't have to put in your password and everything. So, but of these people, mostly we only knew their email address and not the other data. Because when we started, only the email address was obligatory, and the other fields were free, and people were not filling it. So we thought, well, if we send them a mail and ask them and explain why we need this data, because we also have to report to the city, we get a 10% subsidy, so we have to report. You know, if we reach our goals to find a younger and more diverse audience, we have to report it. So we need to know whether we are succeeding. So we send this email explaining. We put it also in the newsletter that we were doing this, and 50% completed it, and just a quarter used their free ticket as an incentive.
Anybody else?
Thank you. I got a question because I really like the approach, and you got good results from it. But can you tell me something about the difference about statistical use and commercial use? Because I got a little bit confused on that one.
Okay. Well, for us, it's just to know if you're reaching our goals. So we're not saying that we now know your birth date, so we're going to send you a birthday card and you get a discount. That would be like a commercial use, I think. Or you know, all people underneath 30, we send them. You know, we're just using it for ourselves to know more about our audience. And not is that clear? No.
Yeah, commercial. I don't know how it was in your presentation.
I said for statistical purposes, because we want to see if we're actually reaching a younger audience.
Okay, but if you also have their zip code, so you know where they're living, so you can change your promotional activities, perhaps.
Yeah, but that we're not doing.
Sorry, you're not doing that?
No.
Okay.
No.
Can you posters in the area?
Yeah.
Reaching schools?
Yeah, we could do in general, but we're not going to target you because I know your postal code.
Okay. And how reliable is the data that you get? Because I always get a little bit. But that's a personal thing, you know, because you made the example with Zalando, Zara, but they need my postcode because they have to send me something. Yeah, but you can send your ticket by email. Yeah. So then I always certainly live in Amsterdam.
Yeah. Well, I saw that some people said that they were born in 1900, and some people live in postal code 1234, but it was just a small percentage. And I think because we really explained it well, and we also communicated, said that why we needed it, and that we're not going to use it commercially. Apparently, 50% said, "Okay, I'm just going to give it to you." So we got 2 people complaining. They say, "Well, I don't trust you having with my data." So, but I said again, this is you can also always call me when we're doing differently. But so there were only 2 people complaining. And also with the guest account, so we added the postal code already to the guest account, which is sort of on the edge, but no complaints there. So that's why I dare to also add the birth date there. And
Okay.
see what happens.
Interesting, because we had the same discussion, but we made a different decision. But it's
Okay.
interesting to hear your way of thinking.
Okay.
Is the email address you are collecting used in your newsletter contact list?
No, they have to give consent for the
Okay,
newsletter
yeah.
separately, so we're not sending to everyone.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and for the guest account, of course, we need the email address because we sent the ticket, but then after 3 weeks, it's anonymized.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
so we
there is
can't use-
the check the thing to check if you want to receive the newsletter.
Oh, here, yeah. But
Okay.
we don't send it to everybody. You have to
It's a
give consent.
different
Database.
part of the website where you can subscribe for the newsletter. It's
Yeah, it's
not on the
also on the
same-
website, but we thought, well, if you make a new account, it's also a good place
Okay.
to invite people to get the newsletter. But we're not sending it to everyone.
Yeah, great, thank you.
Anyone else?
So, because they use the account to do their purchase, you know who purchased what tickets. Do you then also use the data to look back? And for instance, maybe you played Maria, and when the movie ended, you want to know who watched specifically the movie Maria, or do you only use it for like general, in 2024, this was our audience?
Yeah, for the birth date and the postal code we do so, but for other, yeah, we use the data for other purposes as well. For instance, if people buy a ticket via Cinefil, we have a higher no-show, so people can just buy a ticket and not show up, and that costs us money. So I use the data to send them an extra reminder the day before, like, you know, if you already know you're not coming tomorrow, please cancel your ticket. So I use it in other ways, and and also we can see, for instance, if Maria was attracting an older or younger audience. But it's just nice for us to know we're not using it.
And yeah.
What was the conclusion? And did you take any action on what you concluded from the data you got?
If you're reaching a young audience, is that what you said?
But if you said you wanted to attract a younger audience, could you see from the data that you needed, and did you then take some action on it?
Yeah, it's going slowly, of course, and we're starting more initiatives to get younger people, but to be able to know whether it's working, I need to do this first, to have like a zero measurement and then go from there. But still, you know, I still need to do some work because it's still 56% I have the data of, and there's still 44% I don't know it of. But with new accounts coming in, then hopefully in the end, we'll know more about it. And we see some improvement in the audience, but it should go faster, if you ask me.
I think we have one more presentation before we go to lunch. Thank you, Annette. Raiko.
Here, okay. I have pretty loud voice. Here is my hotel room presentation, perfect as always. Let's talk about numbers. I know you all love math, right? The best subject in school. I agree with you. The first thing when I took over Artis marketing, and just for information, what I do at Artis is, I'm marketing a special event, so everything goes through me, right? Every single marketing event, special events, private events, all through me. In 2024, we had 515 movies went through our cinema, different movies, 278 special events, and 118 private events. So it all goes through me, and this is why I'm angry at distributors when they said, "Do your part." Dude, I'm like promoting 500 movies. What I did, I went through everything what happened before me. So let's move on. Yeah, beautiful slides. Anyway, there should be some information there. So I went through everything. I went through every single social media post that was done before me, time, when they posted it, the content, was it a giveaway, a synopsis, was it a cool, anyway. I made a data and I wanted to know what works, what is not working. And something that a lot of people don't really want to see is that marketing is just not about creativity, it's not about cool posts or cute stories. It is actually about numbers, analytics, negative constraint, and experimentation, right? And everything goes from there. It's about probability. So, you know, and it translates to everything else and else. So that's why we need a lot of data. And if you have the data, then you have power. And this is actually useful in the sense that it reduces stress, because I'm talking with the small cinemas right now, not with the fancy Netherlands cinemas with big teams, right? With 1 or 2 office cinemas that you're running cinema, you're doing everything. So this helps reduce the stress, because it helps to understand what was the like inculprit here. Is it my fault, or is it like anyway? And it helps to negotiate and makes you moving target to your competitors who are right now watching and trying to understand why they are losing, right? This is why. And it helps to negotiate better prices, better understand. If you want better ads for a newspaper, you can just counter their offers saying, well, the numbers aren't quite there, let's make it cheaper, and usually they agree. So this is one of the worst things I did in again, when I came here. So I divided my time. I have really little time for each part of the process. I can spend time a couple of hours in a newsletter is pretty much waste of time. So how can I make newspaper the newsletter with 20 minutes or so and get maximum value out of it, so that I don't have to keep going back to it, waste time on it, and because I have other things to do. So again, I went through all of the possibilities, and first thing I tried to find when was the bad time to send a newsletter. Like, what's the worst possible time to get 0 clicks, 0 opens, get 0. And when I came in 2021 and 2022 was years before me, they did pretty good, because the industry average is about 21.3% open rate and about 2.3% click rate. So this is the industry average. So before me, they did what's the average, right? So in 2023, the first thing I did, I just started sending newsletter out at random times. So I send out newsletter Wednesday, 5 a.m., right? Middle of the Saturday. And I went through the times and dates, and what I found out that what works best for us in the time frame I have is Monday morning at 6 a.m. And we went up to 50% average, right? And the amount I now have to spend is the same. But of course, it's a moving target in the sense that if I change my target audience by getting more younger audience, the times also move. But this is now a work in progress, so you can just go through and through it, right? So always, is it working? I killed the microphone. This one also doesn't work. Okay, now it's back on. Okay, and as people have said before, negative constraint or negative results is always important in math, in everything. Understanding why it doesn't work gives you a shortcut in the sense of understanding why it works. 2 minutes already. Okay. So these are also, you can apply these to everything, right? So I remade our loyalty programs. We have loyalty programs for ticket sales. I went through every, not just the website, at social media, and also ticket sales attendance pattern. So I tracked everything, every single movie, and who watches and why, and suddenly, well, I think it should be open information so that everybody could access it, but sadly it's not. So you have to talk with people to get this information. So, and this is the potential growth of what happened with Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So I think we grow 2,000% in the first year, 500% the last one, and at the end of the last year, our social media engagement was one is the first year of growth, which is, I think it was like 780%, and this one was 300 something. Instagram, these are like percentual growth here, you can see. Percentual growth, but what was before I came to the Artis. Yeah, this is 2023, this is 2024. So this is, I'm competing against my former colleague, this is me competing against myself, right? And it's always harder to keep competing against yourself, right? And now I'm trying to get more YouTube involved to monetize the content as well, just to help us get more, right? And AI is not your enemy. I know a lot of people here are afraid of AI, that it actually takes you over. We are not at the Skynet phase of it yet. So I have automated a lot of things. I know it takes like some degree to understand maybe coding or something, right? But if you can do that and you can teach AIs to do some things for you, it makes possible to do the job. Otherwise, I would lose my hair if I didn't already lost them before I came to work there. And yeah, don't be afraid of AIs. That's the point. And here also to tell you, it's not all bad. You are already doing a lot of these things. Maybe you just don't like maybe understand why you're doing it or why it works. And when this is also one important thing. When you schedule special events like whatever you're doing, make sure that there is no overlap, that you're not trying to compete with other things like that. Anyway, let's finish this one out. This is just a great to show what movies I saw last year, and make a picture because maybe you don't have time to talk about it all. I would love to go and rant about this a little bit longer, but you know, time is an issue. And yeah, there's no whites here, so there's actually more people here. But they were just cut out. But yeah, collect data. Don't be afraid of the numbers. Think of this as a video game. Everything you learn, you level up, right? And the more you level up, the more impossible it becomes for your opponents or your competitors. And when last year I talked with my competitors, they said that it was a nightmare. Like they had meetings and yellings, and they didn't understand what was happening because I didn't do more than them, right? In fact, I took down the number of posts that was done before me, but suddenly they are out of the picture because, well, algorithms love if you understand how they work, right? Oh, and it's over. So don't be afraid.
Yeah, now it works. Yeah.
And it works and it doesn't.
Do you take the data through AI? So the AI is analyzing the data as well?
No, I'm doing it manually because that's a fun way. But you can actually like do it with AIs if you want to. But I don't trust them that much. So I do it manually. When I explained to my colleague, he was like, yeah, nobody can do that, but maybe use like an AI or something. But it gives you so much power because you pretty much take away like power from the distributors and advertisers because you hold actually more data than they do. So they can't really dictate anything to you. You are the one that now gets the ability to dictate, you get to negotiate. And I think that's really important.
Anyone else?
Don't be afraid.
What's the last thing you asked AI to do for your cinema?
Yesterday night, I asked him to write me a couple of synopses, couple of special event descriptions using my writing model. I made my own writing model because I'm a journalist. I have thousands of texts to take from. So I taught him how I write about these things. I taught him how not to do, showed my competitors, sorry, what not to do, and then went over it until he learned it. So now the keyword is Raiko Puust 2.0 is the command for the AI to understand what it needs to do. And then I give him the times and dates when to post the things, and I'm sitting here and everything's fine.
Anyone else?
So yeah, don't be afraid of the AI. AI is not the new bad guy. It's just another tool like Photoshop or Adobe or whatever.
I really like your style because I think you're the total opposite that I am. Because you say numbers will release my stress. Well, in my case, I get a lot of stress by the numbers.
Okay.
And so that's really interesting to hear your approach, because actually we want to do the same thing, sell tickets, to be very short. And you also said that marketing, what did you say about creativity? That
yeah, there is actually a percentage. I did the calculations. How important is creativity when we talk about marketing? People always think that creativity is the first thing, but it is like always with the asterisk, and asterisk is usually you could go viral.
Yeah,
so,
but I think that the creativity part is also very much
in
your presentation, because I think
always, because you must have creativity. But in a sense, if you have correct data and you just use a notepad text to come watch a cinema, in 85% you will still get 85% of the same audience if you have the right data. If you don't have a data, you need to be really creative to compare against the algorithms, because we are controlled by algorithms. So if you use Instagram, Facebook, any social media, the moment your post doesn't do well in their mind or how algorithm works, you will lose, even if you are super creative. You might go viral, which is always true, but you might win a lottery as well. So
But I think that also in the testing part, what you're doing a lot of tests.
Yeah. You always need to test.
Deciding what you would like to test and how you're gonna do the test. That asks a lot of your creativity to do it on the thing.
This is like a basic thing, because you still need to do A and B testing, right? Because you don't know what posters work, what doesn't. This is always goes. And when you do things, like for example, when you design anything, right? Try to make it so that you're always getting more out of it than you usually do. I actually had a video clip here to show as well. Maybe have time to show a quick clip. Okay, we don't have. Anyway, this is like a example. When I do Q&As, I put up cameras in the cinema, because the people who are there, they can watch it live. It's a live interview, so then I use all the video materials to cut stories, reels, and everything, right? And I use a certain pattern to do it, so AIs can help me do it faster, help with the subtitles and everything. Then I do the interview on paper, it's released on the newspaper, and the video is put on the newspaper, social media as well. So this is all from like one event, because I don't have my time to keep doing these things. And when I design posters and when I do stuff and the things like that, what I usually do is I make a raw files as well and give it to distributors, only for the movies that work for my cinemas, they work for me, in the sense that I know that this is my movie, like this is the movie that our audience watch. Then in these cases, I will give them materials back. I make stories, I make reels, so now use these ones, please, right? And giving to other cinemas, I don't care, because they are pretty much promoting movie for me, because the audience will find me.
Thank you, Raiko. I think that's lunch. We have an hour to eat, go outside, and we'll continue at 2 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you. Is the microphone still working? As long as you're